All the way back in late February of 2021, an upcoming skilled obbyist named Boom Sasak became the first person to ever beat the Tower of Champions Road. I assumed that this level of difficulty was impossible to achieve for a casual player like me, and more players beat harder and harder towers as time went on. Nowadays, the hardest towers of 2021 are not even close to the difficulties of the hardest towers today. But not only had the best players drastically increased in skill, as I had as well. At the time of the verification of ToCR, my hardest tower was the Tower of Impossible Expectations, a tower ranking at low intense on the difficulty chart. But now, I had beaten 3 catastrophic difficulty towers, and I was ready to take on what could barely be done 4 years ago, live on stream. For day 1, the entire 4.5-hour stream consisted of me practicing various floors that I found to be difficult in the tower. At the beginning of the stream, I said this. I'm practicing the fuck out of this tower. This tower's gonna have absolutely no chance. And that statement could not have been more correct, because this grind took way less time than I thought it would. Anyways, my plan for this stream was to do floors 3 and 4 consecutively, as well as floors 6 and 7 consecutively. There were a few jumps in particular that were challenging for me, such as this high jump near the end of floor 3. Thankfully, the one and only Baby Dog, who was a major inspiration for this video, gave me a tip to ledge grab the platform to get slightly more height on the jump and make it more consistently. Ledge grab and shift lock off for consistent height. Alright, I'll try it. Like, you could just do like that. Yeah, I mean that does seem to work. I also had issues with the second last jump of floor 4, which is this wrap where you have to wiggle to squeeze between the walls. Upon practicing this jump, I was falsely led to believe that you can make the jump consistently without wiggling. Oh, yo, I just used my brain. You don't even need to like wiggle. You can just. Oh, okay, but well, maybe you do. Well, no, you don't. Yeah, okay, you don't need to wiggle if you just like line it up properly. All right. This led to me falling later on when I was trying to do floor 4 legit. God, I knew it. Ah, I hate this jump. This jump is like not that hard, bro. Like, just do that. Just do that. Eventually, though, I beat floors 3 and 4 consecutively after about 2 hours of streaming. Chance. Can I do it? Oh, let's go. Okay. Okay. Let's go! Okay. That took 2 hours. Before attempting my consecutive floor 6 and 7 run, I decided to do each floor legit individually again. For floor 6, there was only one jump I was really struggling with, which was this long truss flick around a cylinder. Thankfully, I got a strat from this guy named Xer, who I will talk more about later. Oh, you got a strat? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought about trying that shit. I like never do this, but okay, that is wait, that's good. Wait, that's fire. Oh, yo, I made that shit twice in a row? Thrice in a row? Okay, wait. This is actually the best strat ever. Now my consistency on 6 was much better, and I soon moved on to floor 7. Wait, I'm actually goated, hold on. Oh, I'm actually goated. This could be it. I'm the GOAT, bro. I'm the fucking GOAT, let's go. Floor 7 has these 3 really annoying slanted truss jumps throughout the floor. The first one is at the beginning of the floor, and it probably has the worst consistency out of all of them, but it's okay because it was right over a net. The second one is in the middle of 7, where you have to flick off of this slanted truss and quickly wrap around this large wall onto another truss. I struggle with this jump a lot during my runs, with it often being the reason I loop failed floor 7. The last jump is another truss flick to a slanted truss, which is way more precise than it looks, and made me really sad every time I failed it because it's right before floor 8. Thankfully, I was able to complete floor 7 legit in only 30 minutes, and now it was time to do both 6 and 7 consecutively. I'm the GOAT, bro, I'm the GOAT! Now, 6 and 7 together. But after an hour of trying, and almost 5 hours of practice in total, I was ready to pack it up for the night, and I ended stream shortly after. Before I started stream on day 2, I spent an hour and a half doing floors 6 and 7 consecutively for real this time, and after starting up the stream, I decided that I also wanted to do floors 9 and 10 consecutively as well. For the most part, I didn't really have many problems when it came to 9 and 10. However, the wedge wiggle, as well as this long wrap at the start of 9 gave me a lot of trouble. The rest of floor 9 was mostly a breeze, but floor 10 had lots of difficult jumps I had to watch out for. Firstly, this jump off a truss to another truss at the beginning of the floor was very difficult. In order to do this jump, you first need to align at a good angle to set up the grab to the landing truss. Then, you need to climb, using your upwards momentum to jump off and just barely reach the landing truss. And in order to dismount it, you need to do a bottom flick wraparound that requires precise character positioning in order to correctly get the jump off. The next jump that was hard for me on 10 was this super long and high wrapped up to a truss. I swear it's harder than it looks, so you just have to trust me that it's difficult. At the end of 10, there were 2 jumps that gave me the most trouble. The first one was this precise squeeze jump to a truss, which also doesn't look very hard, but during my practice runs I failed it a lot more than the other jumps on 10. The second jump that gave me trouble was the last jump before the jump to the teleporter. This jump is a series of wedges where you have to wiggle your character between the walls in order to get enough distance to land on the platform at the end. Its difficulty comes from the fact that you can very easily get your character stuck in the gap and lose all your momentum, sending you all the way down to floor 6. Anyways, I actually almost did floors 9 and 10 consecutively only 9 minutes into the stream, but I ended up finger locking when trying to flick off this truss here near the end of 10. After attempting 9 and 10 for an hour, I also got this run which failed this relatively easy truss flick wrap. Oh fuck, dude. After that fail, I just decided that I was consistent enough at 9, and decided to just move on doing floor 10 legit, as that's where most of my problems were. The wiggle jump with the wedges at the end of 10, which I mentioned earlier, started giving me problems again, but thankfully, I had help from someone who knew how to play this tower better than anyone. This is Xer, a very skilled player who was claimed to have beaten ToCR at least 40 times. Xer would frequent my chat and give me tips on jumps I was struggling with, which helped me greatly during this grind. He is the same guy who told me on day 1 how to do the cylinder truss wrap on floor 6. Xer also recently posted a ToCR guide, showcasing all of his strategies on his YouTube channel. If you're going to attempt to beat this tower, I highly recommend checking out his video, which I will leave a link to in the description. Anyways, I pulled up a past stream of his to see how he does the jump I was struggling with. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. The first day when I was doing 10 legit, there's not a single problem with this jump. Hold on, we're gonna watch Xer's video, see what he does. I just need to figure out what to do. Alright, let's analyze this. Half speed. So he lines up like this. He puts it at the first stud, you see that? He goes right here. Goes right there. Perfect. And sure enough, I was able to do the jump much more consistently with his setup. With this new strategy, I was able to do floor 10 legit quite fast, beating the floor only 7 minutes after implementing the strategy. There we go. That strat is so tough. Okay, there's 10. Let's go! Now, it was almost time to start actual runs at the tower, but first, I decided to touch up on my floor 4 and 8 consistency by doing the floors legit one more time. My consistency with the floor 4 was becoming insane, as I had beat it legit in only 5 minutes. W4 run? Oh, I almost got bounced off of that. And I did that jump. Let's fucking go. So I'm the GOAT. With floor 8, I had most of the floor down, except for this one truss flick where I was struggling to decide which strategy to use. Like, it's just this shit. Like, this shit's like RNG, bro. I know you can climb it, but like, you can get height like that. I think maybe I should just climb it. Because I don't think this is consistent enough to... I don't know. What do you think? I ended up deciding to use the climbing strategy because I couldn't seem to make the jump frequently enough with a regular jump. This spot near the end of 8 is also a real pain, but thankfully it didn't give me much trouble during this quick practice session. After about 10 minutes I did floor 8 legit, and now it was time to start real runs. Okay. Is it time to do actual runs? With over 1,000 minutes of practice now under my belt, I was confident that I could tackle floors 3 and 4 in a reasonable amount of time and get my first run to the net relatively soon. However, due to my focus on practically every single floor other than 1 and 2, I was struggling quite a bit to reach floor 3. Once I finally did reach floor 3, I proved my consistency by fluking 3 and heading straight for 4. I told y'all once I get past there, I'm gonna be fine. But beginning at 3 is not easy. Oh! Don't go that far. Yeah, beginning at 3 is not no joke, bro. Wait, 3 fluke? Please? 3 fluke! Unfortunately, I fell immediately after this, but I was still happy that I got to 4 so fast. No! No! What the fuck? When I got back to 3 over an hour later, I ended up fluking it again, and this time getting much further into 4. Yo, both times I fluked 3. Like, what is that? I'm actually so cracked at 3, it's not even funny. Oh, I knew that was gonna be bad. That's such a good PB though. This was another jump on 4 that gave me quite a lot of problems. You have to turn extremely sharply around this wall while jumping off a steep wedge, and then squeeze between this tight gap. Touching the walls in the wrong way can easily stunt your momentum, making you fall short of the landing platform. You can see this exact thing happen to me, where I graze the pole on the right and lose my momentum. The next time I got to floor 3, I ended up almost fluking the entire floor again, but I ended up failing the last jump just before 4. Anyways, the next run I had to 4 was seemingly becoming very promising, as I approached and then passed my PB jump an hour after my last run to 4. This wasn't just any 4 run though. I kept going and going until I was only a mere few jumps away from reaching the net. After pleading with the game to let me pass, I successfully did the wiggle wrap that I was scared of. Please, 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 please. Now all that was left was the last jump of 4, a somewhat difficult wedge wrap. Fueled, but nervous with adrenaline, I ended up pressing space barely too late and walked off the platform, sending me to floor 1. Dude, that's such a clip form. That's such a clip form. Are you shitting me? It's not even hard too, oh my god. I got to floor 4 many more times that day, but none of the runs got as far as that devastating fail at the end of 4. During these runs, I was also met with a comical surprise. Some anonymous person spelled out my name in global win messages by beating the tower thinning layers 5 times. Dude, what's... What?! What?! Look at the chat! What the fuck? What? Who is that? Who is that? What? About 45 minutes later, they also used the same method to call me fat this time. I still don't know who did this, but if it was one of you watching this video, you better own up to it in the comments. On another one of my runs to 4, I ended up making it all the way to the third last jump. Oh no! The fucking bouncy wedge! Dude. Another really, really good run though. At this point, I had been playing the tower for over 8 hours, and after the 10th and final floor 4 run, I decided to call it for the day. I was still immensely impressed with the progress I had made this stream, and I was confident that I could reach the net tomorrow. However, I was not prepared in the slightest for what was actually about to happen on that next day. So today is net day, but in order to get to net, we're gonna have to practice 4 more. We're gonna have to get 4 down. Before doing runs on day 3, I decided that I should do floor 4 legit 3 times to get my consistency up. I was able to do this in only 20 minutes, and then quickly started runs straight after. Legit times 1. Let's go! And there's number 2. Let's go. Already 3 times legit. Alright, let's go. It's run time. 20 minutes into doing runs, I realized I should probably practice a little bit of the second half before getting to the net. Oh, I said I was gonna practice the second half and then I didn't. Okay. Well, fuck. Alright. Since I'm at 1, should I practice the second half real quick? Like, I feel like I should practice the second half, because I haven't practiced it at all today. This ended up being a very important decision, because consistency in the second half of ToCR was something that would prove to be very important. I decided that floors 8 through 10 were what I needed to practice the most on, so I ran through them for about 15 minutes before returning to runs. When I was practicing floor 10 during this time, I was actually able to do the entire floor legit second try, which gave me confidence that I could pass it if I got there. Oh my god, it's just so good. It's just so good. Alright, let's do runs. Now with lots of consistency under my belt, I was confident that I could get to the net relatively quickly. However, I could have never imagined how fast that would actually happen, because my first run back to 4 I made it all the way to floor 5 for the first time. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Oh, yo. Oh my god. For those of you who don't know, floor 5 is a completely free break floor, with the only gameplay being this bridge that you have to cross to reach the teleporter to floor 6. Doing floor 6 was no easy task though, as I found it to be the most difficult floor of the entire tower. Thankfully, it's the first floor of the second half of the tower, so I didn't have to worry about any significant fails as it was over the net. After about 13 minutes of suffering on floor 6, I got my first run to floor 7. Floor 7. Floor 7. 7 times 1, there it is. This 7 run was actually insane though, because I actually ended up fluking the entire floor and going straight to floor 8 for the first time as well. Like the end of it, it's really hard for me. Specifically, this part. Might be getting somewhere. There's no chance I fluke 7, right? Okay, it's a little bit far, but I actually just fluked 7. What are we doing? What are we doing? 8 times 1. The game finally decided to stop this nonsense that I was doing, and I failed one of the first jumps on floor 8. But 8's pretty hard, so yeah. After about 10 more minutes, I got to 7 for the second time, and somehow fluked the entire floor again. Unfortunately, I ended up failing the same jump again, but I was still in very high spirits, now realizing how good of a chance I had at beating the tower if I could just pass floor 8. Getting another good run would take quite a while, as I kept failing the hard section at the end of floor 7 after my 2 flukes. After about a half an hour of struggling, I finally got back to floor 8. This time, I passed my PB jump and made it all the way to the truss flick that was giving me problems in practice. Okay, this is low-key a deciding jump. I just need to climb this. Good, good. With that out of the way, there was only one more spot I had to worry about, which was at the end of floor 8. Carefully flicking around the dangerously slanted platform, I was extremely relieved to have passed the section on my first try. Now the only thing preventing me from reaching floor 9 was a few simple jumps that required some alignment, and a big wrap at the end. I quickly passed these jumps, and I had officially made it to floor 9 for the first time. On floor 9, the only section that I really had to worry about was the beginning, which I already mentioned how it was giving me trouble during practice on day 2. Unfortunately, I ended up failing one of these jumps at the beginning, which is also one of the only jumps where you can't save yourself here at the end of 8. This meant that I was now back at the beginning of 8, which I wasn't entirely confident that I could pass again. My hunch ended up being correct, because I failed the difficult truss flick near the middle of 8. Since my private server was open for anyone in stream to join, my friends Ben and Slicer decided to try and rebeat ToCR alongside me. After my fail on floor 9, Ben made it near to the end of floor 10, and Slicer made it all the way to the last jump before the teleporter on 10 as well. Oh shoot. No, bro, rip. Good luck, good luck. Last 2 jumps. Rip, no. Oh my god. These fails showed me how hard floor 10 can be, especially given the crazy amount of nerves any player would have at that point. Anyways, the next run to floor 8 happened over 40 minutes after my last 8 run, and this time I made the stupid mistake of holding space at this truss here. Because the wall of the truss sticks out slightly less than a stud, holding space here sent me off the truss and back down to 7. Right after this fail though, Ben got back to 10 and actually ended up beating the tower. Oh shit! Yo, Ben! Yo! GG! GG! After failing floor 8 again, and struggling on 6 and 7 for another hour, I was finally able to make it back to floor 9 almost exactly 2 hours after my first 9 run. But due to the difficulty I was having with the beginning of 9, I ended up failing my PB jump once again. The same thing again? Are you fucking with me? It did the same thing again. Oh. Let me take a break for a second. Because I'm gonna fall if I'm playing while I'm this nervous. After falling to 8, I began to go through the floor again, actually making very good progress. With too much excitement at the end of 8 though, I ended up aligning improperly and failed one of the last jumps of 8. Fuck. I lost my momentum. That sucks. I don't think I was far enough on the edge. The next 2 hours were torturous for me, consisting of failing floor 8 13 more times, making my floor 8 run counter go all the way up to 19. The only thing keeping me going at this point was the fact that I was consistently getting to floor 8, but it was evident that I severely underestimated its difficulty. I assumed the floor was easy enough, so I hadn't practiced it much as the other floors in the second half of the tower. I also decided to switch my strategy for the difficult truss flick on 8 to a high jump instead of a climb, which I believe is more consistent than the difficult climb method. Should I just go for the jump instead of the flick? Or, I mean the climb. Yeah, I'm doing it. There we go. Because my climbing game has not been on today. At this point, with not much else exciting going on, my chat convinced me to put my completion of the Tower of Generation failure in the bottom right corner to cure their boredom. Can you put your TOGF completion in the bottom corner? The thing is, I might actually be able to do that. Let me see if I have the TOGF video. Is this something you actually want? Alright. You want TOGF? And when I turned off the video as I reached floor 8, they all started complaining and demanded the video back. Oh yeah, I can pause it. So sorry. It's getting paused. TOGF will come back, but right now we have more important things at hand, like floor 8. I'm gonna give it back, be patient. You guys care more about TOGF than the actual run. This kind of humor kept me motivated and allowed me to do longer sessions. Anyways, after I got my 19th run to floor 8 and my energy was dwindling, I was finally able to pull off another run to 9. Knowing I probably wouldn't be back to floor 9 for a long time, I said, Okay, I just want to pass my PB. It's really all I want. Luckily, I was able to do just this, and I knew this run actually had potential now. I was quite consistent at the rest of floor 9, so this run had the potential to go all the way up to floor 10, which would be crazy for my first day at the net. Taking things slow, I carefully looked ahead and aligned for every jump, crawling further and further into floor 9 as I got more and more nervous. Near the middle of floor 9, I just barely failed this trust to trust wrap, thankfully landing at the end of floor 8. Oh, okay. Good save, good save. I've only failed that in practice like once, bro. Even though I had a good fall, I knew my chances of getting back were slim, because I still had to pass the beginning of floor 9 again. Incredibly, as I went back in for round 2, I was able to pass the beginning of floor 9 for the second time in a row. This would likely be my only chance at floor 10 for the night, as I was getting very tired at this point and still had homework to do. Nervously, I approached the trust jump again, and thankfully landed it. I breathed a sigh of relief, which didn't last long, because I knew that there was now nothing in my way to stop me from getting to floor 10. Even though I was confident in my ability to get through most of the jumps on 10, my nerves really started to set in as I began on the floor. I'm just gonna let the run play out from here, because calling it insane would be an understatement. I was too close to the truss. That was terrifying. Okay. If I pass this, I have a decent chance. No way! No way! No way! No way! No way! No way! I started to freak out. I couldn't believe what I just pulled off. And only my second day of attempts I had gotten to the net and beaten the tower that I thought would take me a month. Now all that was left to do was... What?! I think it goes without saying that this is my worst fail ever, and it will probably stay that way for a long time. And even though I was sad and in shock that I somehow choked a simple jump when it mattered the most, I was still determined to beat the tower the next day. I knew I had the consistency to do it for real this time. It was just a matter of starting up another stream the next day and keep on pushing. I'm not failing final jump today, bro. Upon starting up stream the next day, I went to go practice floor 8 and other floors I was struggling on to solidify my consistency for the session. With using a couple more strats at the beginning of 9 from Xer, I was able to very quickly do a legit run from 9 to the end of the tower. For my floor 8 practice, I did the entire floor 3 times legit, which actually only took 10 minutes, as my consistency on the floor was getting extremely good. Alright, I'm pretty sure I have 8 down. That was... dude, no, that wasn't 2 in a row. It was almost 2 in a row, though. It was almost time to start up runs, and I was confident that today would be the day I would beat the tower, for real this time. My consistency was better than ever, but I didn't want to get cocky and start runs right away. I decided that I should do floor 4 legit 3 times, and then I would start my run, which would hopefully be my last. My first practice run of 4 I did first try, a good sign. Incredibly, my second legit run of 4 happened back to back with the first run, meaning I did floor 4 legit 2 times in a row. I just did 4 legit twice in a row, bro. Dude, why am I so insane today? I thought the pre-stream practice was going to take a little bit longer than this. Holy. As if to prove to myself that today would be the day, I ended up doing floor 4 legit 3 times in a row as well. Dude, I just did that shit 3 times in a row. I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready. I just did 4 3 times in a row, bro. Who does that? I needed no further proof. I knew it was time to start runs. My pre-net experience for this run wasn't very eventful, mostly because it didn't last long at all. The only notable things to occur was how I got to floor 3 on my first try, and when I got to floor 4 for the first time, I ended up falling very early in the floor. On my second run to 4, as expected, I completed it first try, and was already to the net in only 11 minutes of playing. Let's fucking go. I'm so fucking good at this game. Let's fucking go. Only took 10 minutes, bro. Dude, I can't believe that only took 11 minutes. About 50 minutes later, I got my first run to 9 after a few 8 fails. Unfortunately, this run died instantly to the beginning of the floor once again. This fall was pretty funny though, because I seemingly saved myself on thin air when landing at the start of floor 8. Oh shit. Ooh! What did I save on? I just jumped on thin air. Wait, let me rewatch that. But after going back into the tower with vertical mobility to check, it turns out that there's just a random invisible part here for some reason. I believe its purpose is to prevent people from doing a high jump skip at this section on floor 7. I almost made it back to 9 straight after this, but I ended up failing a difficult slanted section at the end of 8. This section in particular was giving me a lot of trouble, as I failed it many more times this session and it was the main thing stopping me from getting runs to 9. Almost 100 minutes into the run, I finally passed the slanted section for a second time. Unfortunately though, I wasn't careful with my alignment on the easy jumps at the end of 8, and it caused me to fall just before getting to 9. If I could finally just pass the slanted thing, I would get an actual good run. Good. Oh fuck! I lost momentum. No! Why? Why on that jump? It's not even hard. I thought I had practiced floor 8 enough, but it seemed that I underestimated its difficulty yet again. This session I already had 7 runs to 8, but only one of them got to 9. I knew I was good enough to beat the tower, it was just a matter of passing floor 8. I ended up getting 5 more runs to floor 8, but none of them went all the way to 9. 4 of these runs got all the way to the slanted part at the end of 8, and only one of the runs that got there actually passed it. But I ended up failing an easy head hitter at the end of 8 on this run. I'm such an idiot, dude. I'm just throwing every 9 run, dog. I am getting consistent, you're right, but like, it's annoying. How many times have I failed 8 today? Like 10? I've had 1 9 run. And I always get to the end of 8. This was starting to become a major problem. I was getting super consistent runs to floor 8, only 5 minutes apart from each other, but I just could not pass the slanted section to save my life. Anyways, I didn't have time to worry about that right now, because I had to go to class. I would end stream, AFK on the net, and start another stream once I came back. Alright, yeah, I should probably end it real quick. Come back in an hour, bro? Not an hour. Come back in an hour 30. I'll see you guys then. 2 hours later, I was back to it. What's up? What's up? How was class? It was chill. My timer's almost at 300 minutes now. It took me quite a while to get my consistency back after such a long break, so it took me 30 minutes to get my first run to 8 again. This run actually passed the slanted part at the end of 8, but I failed the jump right after it. Only 4 minutes later, I got back to the same spot, and somehow failed the easy head hitter again. I'm not gonna fuck this up this time. Oh my god, I fucked it up! Yo, what's the problem? What's the problem? Wait, okay, yo, like literally what am I doing wrong? As you can tell from my reaction, I was beginning to become very frustrated with my lack of ability to pass floor 8. If I could just get to 9 again, I had a good shot of getting to 10 and finally beating the tower. And about 30 minutes later, I got my next chance. I passed the slanted part on 8, and I finally did the head hitter this time as well. Now I could finally get to 9 again, and all I needed to do was pass the beginning of the floor. I passed the 2 hard jumps at the beginning, which meant I had a good chance of getting to 10. Or at least that's what I thought, because I instantly failed a really easy jump right after, and missed the save at the end of 8. Oh my god! I didn't save on 8. How did I fail that easy ass shit, bro? That's 9 times 5. That's good though, like, my consistency of getting to 9 is so good, bro. I passed the hard part too, bro. That's what sucks. I totally could have gotten, like, really far there. After suffering on 8 even more, I got my next run to 9 25 minutes later. I passed the first hard jump, but failed the second and saved at the end of 8. On my second try, I failed the first hard jump, and fell back to the beginning of 8 this time. God. Oh. Why'd I just, like, not jump, bro? This is why I hate start of 9, bro. I was becoming very discouraged by the difficulty of the beginning of 9, but I still managed to get back even after such a fail. This time, I passed both of the hard jumps again. I had a real chance this time. I made my way through the floor, becoming increasingly nervous yet again as I realized this was most likely going to be another run to 10. I got to the platform on 10, taking a quick break to calm my nerves. I was extremely nervous, but confident. I had done this before, and I knew I could do it again. I'm gonna take a break for a second. Oh my god. I feel like I barely landed on that. What? God! I was too far in the corner. That sucks, dude. Falling all the way to 6, I was angry at myself, but quickly regained composure. I knew how good my consistency was today, and I was sure that I could get back to 10 given a little bit of time. The time for that would come a lot later than expected though, but not because I was struggling on floor 8, or 9, or any floor for that matter. The issue that I ran into was unlike anything I'd ever seen. Upon falling to 6 from an easy jump on 7, I suddenly couldn't jump, no matter how hard I tried. What? Spacebar? What just happened? Hello? Am I soft locked? You can literally see in my input display. What just happened? Wait, let me like type. Yeah, my spacebar works. This is Roblox. Go to 5? Is this not? Does this usually happen? How is this supposed to help? Jump in the river? I didn't touch a jump remover, did I? What the fuck? What happened to my game? Someone in chat recommended that I should restart my run and a moderator of EToH should teleport me back up to the net. I thought this was a good idea, but I didn't have any immediate contact with any moderators or developers of the game. Just then, Skitsuna, one of the most famous top hobbyists, joined my stream. Skitsuna told me that he messaged Blockerman, a well-known developer of EToH, about my situation. Blockerman said he would join and help me in a bit, but that meant I had to sit around and wait for him to join. In the meantime, I put on Tower of Generation Failure again for the viewers to watch while waiting. Gen fail? You wanna watch Gen fail? Oh my god, bro. Alright. Dude, how do I explain this to people who just joined the stream? Like, what do I even say to them? They're just gonna be so confused. They're just gonna be like, yo, this isn't ToCR. What happened to ToCR? I'm still in ToCR, but, here, let me just show you. Look. Here's me in ToCR. I'm pressing the spacebar and I can't jump. so I have to wait for a mod to come help me. If push comes to shove, I'll reset, but if Skit already DM'd Blocker, then I'm just gonna wait for him. I already tried enabling and disabling trust fix. Oh, while climbing something? I could check in floor 5 maybe. Yeah, still no. Unfortunately. Yeah, I tried it on the bridge. That sucks. I then went back to earlier in the stream and tried to figure out what exactly caused me to lose my jump. It seemed that the action of my turning high FPS trust fix off while climbing a truss caused my jump to stop working. I know you love your TOGF, but hold on. Bear with me for a second. Let's go back and see where this happened. Is that what we're calling it, the grandpa jump? Okay. Oh, okay. It is when I turned the physics off. I was mid-climb and I turned it off. It still doesn't make sense, but now we know what caused it, you know? At least I had an explanation now, but it still didn't make sense to me, because I had done that every time on that section before. I used the high FPS trust fix on the difficult slanted jump on 7, which made it significantly easier for me. After explaining this, Xer, the same guy who gave me strats for ToCR, also suggested that I try toggling the high FPS trust fix while climbing. And let's just say, it behaved a little differently this time. Xer, I already tried that. I went to the bridge on 5 and toggled it and it still didn't work. I can try again, I guess. I'm climbing it right now. High FPS trust fix on. Still can't jump. And climb it again. Turn it off. Wait! I can jump! I can jump! I can jump! Wait, hold on. I can jump! Wait, why did it work that time? Okay, yo, save. I saved it, let's fucking go. We're so back. We're so back. Bro, Xer, thank you for telling me to try that shit again. Now that I was back to my run, I was ready to take down 10. I just had to pray that I kept my consistency and make sure to be careful when toggling the high FPS trust fix on 7. Not long after, I had my first 8 run back. I did the bottom flick at the beginning, the high jump trust flick, and even the slanted section, bringing me to floor 9 as well. I passed the beginning of floor 9 first try, and began to get nervous again. I started thinking about the final jump, making me even more nervous. I knew that the strat I used for the final jump does work, which I tested after I failed it in yesterday's stream. I believe that I just barely pressed space too late for that jump. Either way, I was not risking using that strategy again, because I knew the jump could be made with a simple normal trust flick. Anyways, I slowly approached 10 again, with insane amounts of excitement and nervousness. Yo, let's go, dude, let's go! Let's go! That jump always scares the shit out of me. There's food at the wind pad? Yo, I'm going. Please. No! Let's go! 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 Please! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Let's go! Oh my god! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Yo. Dude, could you imagine? Could you imagine if I restarted because of the bug? Then I wouldn't have beaten it. Food, yeah, I got... Of course bro beats it when he hears there's food at the wind pad, bro. Welp, there it is. My new hardest tower in 5 months. I think it goes without saying that this is one of my craziest grinds ever. From the crazy fails, to the fact that it only took 3 days of attempts, and even the game-breaking bugs, this grind was unlike any experience I've ever had. This is why I believe this grind deserves so much more than just a completion video, so I hope this commentary was entertaining for you. I also wanted to shout out PyJupiter, a fellow EToH YouTuber and friend I made while we were both grinding ToCR. He finally beat ToCR about a week ago as of writing the script, with 4 floor 10 fails, a grind that lasted a whole 37 days and over 9,200 minutes of playtime. That is a whole 153 hours of playing this tower, while my grind only took a mere 42. I also wanted to shout out HS and PyJupiter again, as they rated me frequently during my YouTube streams, boosting my motivation. Lastly, I want to thank Todd for helping me skim through the streams for script writing, my good friend Mist for making the thumbnail, and X for helping him, and Xer, once again, for helping me with strats and saving the winning run. Thank you to everyone who tuned into the streams as well to watch the grind. I truly appreciate all of you for sticking with me and believing in me as I went through this grind. As for my next hardest tower, I will most likely do the Tower of Cruel Punishment, which is the hardest tower in the base game of EToH, but I will hold off on that until I make a couple more videos. Maybe this year I can beat a horrific tower, who knows. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.